Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm getting ready for a trip for Italy for 2 weeks, and I want to bring my coloring supplies. I am doing a solo trip, so I am going to need things that will entertain me on downtimes especially, but my plan is to go with a lot of art supplies, like some watercolor supplies, some coloring supplies, some drawing supplies, just to have this experience of being an artist. I'm actually going to be staying in Venice for the 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll be traveling that much outside. I probably will go to like nearby cities, but I do want to go and pretend I'm an artist that lives in Venice. This is a bucket list trip. But while I was thinking of what to bring for that trip, I was looking through my swatch charts and I realized I don't have any for my gel pen collection. I haven't decided if I'm really carrying all of these gel pens, but I thought I would swatch them and, bring you along the journey. I thought you might like to see what I have, what some colors are. I don't have any full collections, I don't think, but we're going to see as I swatch them. And this will be really good because I have bought a couple of these duplicates. I recently in my coloring haul said that I didn't have a green sparkle pop, and when I opened this, I actually do. So I now have 2 green sparkle pops. So I printed this off of the Jelly Roll website. It is a free swatch chart. I've added a few here, and I probably have to add some more squares of my own because I do have some non-jelly rolls and I want to add them to this one chart. I just don't want double charts for everything. So I will start with the jelly rolls and see where I go from there. I do have quite a few of the glaze, and that's where my collection starts. So if no one minds, I'm gonna start in the middle. Now, the white, I don't think we're gonna be able to see, but let me see if I can do a black Posca swatch and just see it when it dries, if I can color over it. I have a Deco Color acrylic paint pen. I can't seem to find a large enough nib on a Posca, so hopefully this works just as well. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a second, or a few minutes, as I move on to my first color, which is, I don't know if these numbers like 803 is an actual color number. There are no color names that I can see, well, at least not on my set, but it's the yellow. And for anyone that doesn't have the glaze, what is truly special about these pens is they do give off a 3D effect. It does leave a raised layer. You could see that it's still wet there. I'm not sure if you could see that it is raised at all. But that's what's so special about these pens. A lot of people use the black for things like eyeballs, just a lot of fun things, and I really, really like them. Of course, the black is the most popular for me and probably for a lot of people. This one says 819. So this is a pinky red. It looks like a carnation pink to me, but all of these colors are absolutely beautiful. I mean, this could even be considered like a watermelon color. Yeah, I still don't think you could see the raised effect. The next one I have is 817. And sometimes with these, when you put them away, they dry with a little tiny film over it. And sometimes you do have to just, with your finger, you just move it, right? So it's not like it's complicated or anything. Yeah, this is one, I think it's a peach. It's very, very different than the cap color. The cap looks like a burnt orange. This doesn't really look like a burnt orange to me. It's also one of the pens that I would consider the driest. So I don't know if I just didn't get a new one. It doesn't really have that raised effect. And again, you probably will not be able to see that, but take my word for it, it is a little drier than the rest. There's plenty of ink in here. I just think it doesn't flow the way the rest of them do. But there are very, very few in my collection that actually do that. This is number 820, and this is a really fluorescent pink. This is not a color that I use very much, but I wanted to have it just to have a bright pink. The next up is number 805. I wonder if I should have done this in the number order. It's just, this is the way they kind of fall in my pencil case. But this is a stunning orange. I mean, this is a beauty. And that's why I consider this a red. Even though it's a little on the orange-ish side, this orange is stunning. It's a really bright pumpkin. Next up is number 821. This looks like another pink. And it is. And this is more of a rosy pink. This is very useful to me. It is a little on the purplish side, and you'll see that you really cannot go over these a second time. You could see it in this brownish color that it starts to make marks. So, I didn't do a good job there, but I will try a little harder to just move in one direction and stay there. The next one is number 824, and it is a purple. Also a beautiful color. Now we're going to get into the few blues I have. This one is number 825, and the blue that I use the most often. I use this a lot when I have lines that I want to minimize, like black lines in my coloring books, but this is a really, really useful color. There we go. And these colors are quite opaque, so it's not like I have to go over it multiple times. But that is a nice sky blue color. The next one is number 836. Another gorgeous blue, but it is darker. It's more of a mid-tone blue. So if I have something very dark, I might use this to black out a line, but I use this more to color with. This one I use more as a black line eliminator. And this is the last blue that I have, and it is the darkest of the blues that I have. And I use this one more for, as a fine liner. I color with this one. I don't use it often for black lines because it makes it, because it's so dark, it doesn't really cover the black line. It just makes it look like a bluer black. This is number 829. And this is one of the two greens that I have. Again, I don't think the cap is indicative of the color inside this pen, which is why I started thinking I should swatch this, because I often have to just test them all out every time I color them, because you could see this looks like an aqua to me, and this is just like a grass green actually. So in this one, there's a big difference between the nib, what comes out of the nib, and the pen cap. But it still is a beautiful color. This one is more of a muted, what I would call an army green. It flows beautifully. I absolutely love the color. I use this one occasionally to black out lines, but I also color with this one as well. Oh, I have a third green. I thought I only had two, but I think this is a green. This is number 834. Oh, it is a green. And again, really different than my top. This is more a mid-tone, maybe darker than grass. So, okay, I have three greens. And I have more colors, I think, than boxes, but maybe I'm wrong. I think this is a color, number 822, that I'm never really sure what this color is. I think it's a red, but it looks like it should be a brown, which confuses me, and I end up putting it toward the back where I would put brown colors, but it is not, you know, I don't know, it is a brownish red, so I'm not too sure where to put this color. So to me, this is the truest red that I have in this group. The next one is 844. And this is a light gray. And it is a beautiful color. I'm not good at determining whether something is a warm or a cool gray. This looks a little warm to me, but you know, that doesn't mean everyone will agree with that. But it is a nice color. Again, I do use this for blacking out lines. And the last color I have is the black. And my most used color. I actually have two of them. So that's what I have. So I have an extra space here, so I might be missing one of the, yeah, I don't know. It says turquoise, green, hunter green. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out what that is. But let me just go back to the white. And it is number 850. And I have to admit, I don't know if it's just the particular pen that I have. This does not flow well at all. I could barely get this to work. The color is not opaque at all. You're gonna see that you can't really see it. So I'm not sure this is not a clear, because there is a little bit of a fog on it. Like, you can't really see it here, but in some cases I can get like what looks like a foggy opal white. So you could see it right there. I colored it onto This is watercolor paper, so it has a rougher texture than this. So I was able to kind of get some more out, but it just does not flow well at all. But it does leave like a milky white. It's not opaque. I would not recommend the white at all. And to me, it doesn't have that raise effect either because it's not liquid enough for it to come out and pool like it should to make that raised effect. So those are all of the Jelly Roll Glaze pens that I have. The next ones I'm going to swatch are the Moonlight, and I love these. They're more pastel-y, they're very opaque, they don't have the raise effect, but most of them are really juicy, and I really enjoy using these to color and for lines, but especially for blacking out or lightening black lines. So the first one I have is number 403P, and it is a pretty lemon yellow, or I would consider this a lemon yellow. The next one is number 405, and this is a neon orange. It is extremely fluorescent. I don't use this one too often. As I mentioned, not really a color palette that I care for too much, but it is a pretty color and it is quite distinctive if you want to use, if you wanted to use a more fluorescent orange in your coloring. The next one is number 405P. I don't know what the P means, but this is more of what I would call a neutral color. It is very pretty as well. Up next is number 415. Also a neutral, but to me, I'm getting toward the browns here, which I really like. I use this color when I'm doing trees and I want to take out the black lines. I use this color. Sometimes I use this. It depends on the paper and how thick the line is. Sometimes this color, number 415, doesn't disguise the black that much. Sometimes it just makes it look like a brown or black. Next up, I have number 412. This is one that I just don't think the cap matches at all. It's a much darker peach. See, this makes me think it's a peach, but it's more of a peachy brown. There we go. It's more of a peachy brown. Now we're going to start with my pinks. This is number 420P. I wonder if that P means pastel, because this is a beautiful rosy pastel pink. I really like this color. I use this to color as well as using my lines. The next one, number 420, as you can see from the barrel, is a fluorescent. Again, not a really useful color for me, but I do like this fluorescent pink. So I do use this color a lot more than I use the fluorescent pink in the glaze. And this is number 421. And this is a darker pink. The next up is starting my purples, and this is number 423. And as I'm working through this, they made a lot more colors in the Moonlight since they have offered this chart, because I have at least 10 left and I only have 2 squares. So I'm gonna have to draw some in. But I really love this purple. It is so pretty. This one seems to be streaking a little, but it could be because I haven't used it in quite some time. The next purple is number 437P. And I love this one. Okay, so I left off with this purple. Then I have this odd color. It's number 422. It's a really, really dark reddish purple, but it almost looks brown to me. So I don't know how to classify this color either. I don't know if it's a purple brown or a brownish purple. So that's the color. Yeah, it looks more like a brown. I think we're starting my blues. I'm not sure if I have some purples mixed in here, but this is number 425. A really pretty baby blue. Really useful color for both lines and coloring. But we are up to number 436. Another beautiful mid-tone blue. Really a pretty color. And the next, I'm not sure if this is a purple or a blue. I have it with my blues, but the cap looks purple to me. This is number 438. And I think it's a dark blue. Yeah, that's why it's with my blues, even though the cap looks purple to me. You know, maybe someone will think this is a dark purple. I'm keeping this in the blue section, but I think you could easily keep it in purples as well. And I don't have enough squares. Where? I'm not sure if this is a blue or a green. I don't use this one very often, so I'm thinking it's more greenish than the bluer cap, but it's number 431. Yeah, this is kind of an aqua. I don't know why I'm not using this pen more. This is really pretty. It's a darker aqua, but yeah, I would say that's an aqua. What do you guys think? The next color, 432, is a lime green. It is a muted lime. It reminds me of the Prismacolor limestone, you know which one I mean. But it is lovely. Very natural looking color. Up next is 426P. And this is okay, I'm taking this back now. This doesn't look, okay, that's lime peel. That's it, lime peel. So they could go together quite nicely. I think this is a very dark aqua and this is a very light aqua. Reminds me of the Holbein Iced Green, I think is the color name. And I absolutely love that Holbein color. So I really like this one as well. And this is number 428. And this is a pretty grass green. Nice mid-tone. Yeah, it's a nice mid-tone green. Really useful. Okay, I have 2 more. So I'm gonna squeeze them in here. I'll make this longer going the other way. This one is number 429. And this would be my mid-tone aqua color. To me, it looks aqua, so I see like a light, a medium, and a dark. And maybe that's what they're trying to do with a lot of these colors, get a light, a mid-tone, and a dark. I haven't really looked at it like this before, again, because I have not swatched them in the past, so I don't know. The next one is my brown, and this is a rather dark brown. It's number 417. So this one is not often used. It's too bad because it is a lovely brown. It is a very juicy pen, but I can't really use it for my lines, blacking out or lightening the black lines. But I occasionally use it as, you know, a brown coloring, like a fine liner. The next few I'm going to show you are the Jelly Roll Metallics. I don't think I have that many of them, but I might have them mixed up. But let's start and see where we go. And this is a lovely grayish silver. I don't like this as much as I like my Uniball silver. This is the one that I use a lot more than this, but it's good to have. It does have a lovely sheen. It's definitely a metallic. So it is a pretty color. There we go. The next is a gold, and as you can see, I use this one quite a bit because it is almost empty, and it is number 551. And it is a lovely gold, and it is very reminiscent of the Uniball Signo gold, but they are slightly different, so I use them both. But I love this gold. It is very, very pretty. And as you can see, lovely sparkle. Yeah, I don't know why I don't have more of the metallics. Next up is number 520. And this is a darker pink. And it has kind of like a silver mica in there. Sorry, it has more of like a silver mica rather than a pink to me. But I'm not sure about that either, guys. I'm really good at seeing like the subtle undertones of things. This is number 543, and this is a blue. And I like this color a lot, but I don't think my pen really works well. So I might try buying this one again to see. And yeah, it just keeps running out, and then I have to, you know, use it on a rougher paper and then try to come back to it, and, you know, it's just starting to make lines. But it is like a denim blue to me, and it does have the silver mica. I wonder if that's why I didn't buy any more, that I felt like the mica was interfering with the, you know, the color itself and the way it comes out. The next few that I have are the golds. So I am going to put it in here, metallic and gold, because there's no grouping for these golds, and basically I'll show you what it is. To me, I would call this a copper. Oh, sorry, this is number 652. And as you can see, I hope you can see, you see the copper, but in the light, you'll see a gold mica powder. I don't love these. I like a two-tone, but I almost can't see the copper in certain lights at all. So these are not my favorites. And I think I only bought a few of them. Here's the green gold. A beautiful green. But to me, as it dries, it gets golder. Like when I first lay it down, I see a beautiful green. But now I'm starting to see only really the gold. I see a little bit of the green coming or peeking out of the sides or in between, but ultimately I see mostly a gold. And I think that's why I don't like these. I'm not really able to differentiate some of the pens from like what color it is, because they all look gold. Now, I don't know what these are. These just say Jelly Roll. They do have a star on them. I'm going to assume these are the classics, but then that means I don't have any Stardust. So I'm unsure of where to put these. Yeah, to me, I'm gonna throw them in the Stardust, because well, let me swatch it first so you can see. There is a metallic to it. It's different than this metallic. The metallics have what I'm going to say looks more like a metallic sheen. This looks like it has mica powder or glitter in it. So that's why I think I picked the right one with Stardust. This doesn't look like a classic. I would assume doesn't have glitter, but again, I'm not too sure. Oh, sorry, that was number 703. This is number 700. And I never know what this color is. I don't know if this is their silver. But again, I'm not sure if like when it has glitter, if it doesn't flow as nicely, because I'm struggling a little here. I'm having to go over it, and now it's getting a little blotchy, because you really should only have one pass over a gel pen. But I think this is their version of the silver, but it does have like a silver gold look to me. So I'm not really too sure what that color is supposed to be. This is number 744. This is a gray. I would call this more of a cooler gray, because it does look a little bluish. Again, it has the silver mica powder in it. This is number 721. And again, this is a gorgeous pink. Really, really pretty. I think the mica is silver, or it might be silver and gold, because I kind of see both. Next up, I have number 705. And this is like an apricot orange. It's a little bit more orange than peach. That's why I'm naming it apricot. See, that one looks like it has an orange glitter in it. Again, I'm not too sure. Number 719. This is what I would call a red. It is like a, I think a pinky red. Next up is a blue. This is number 725. This is a blue that I use quite a bit for coloring like it's a fine liner. I do use it sometimes with lines, but these are not as opaque as some of the other, like the Moonlight is extremely opaque. So these are not as opaque, so they don't cover the black lines as well, but I sometimes use them as well. This is number 736. And this is a darker mid-tone blue. Next up is the only purple I have in this grouping, and this is number 724. Now this is a lovely flow, much nicer than some of the others. And that is a pretty, it's like like more on the reddish purple rather than the blue. And lastly, I have two greens. The first one is number 727. It's a lighter green. If anyone knows, I would appreciate it if you tell me. If you do know, is there a way to make these flow a little bit better? Like, I'm wondering if it's the mica that's getting in the way. And like, if I heat it or, you know, like warm it, does it make a difference? You know, because I really wish they would flow better than this. They are beautiful colors. It's just that I don't really want to struggle with them on coloring book paper, because if you press too hard, it starts making lines, you know, grooves in the paper. I know I am heavy-handed, so maybe other people don't really find that that's true, but all right, there's my darker green. Here we go. Okay, so that is all that I have in jelly rolls. I didn't realize I don't have any classics, so I'm gonna have to look into that, like which ones are the classics. Next, I have one of the two Sparkle Pops. As I mentioned in my last video, if you watched it, I am late to the party with this. I know people talked about Sparkle Pop over and over, and I never found it. And then I found it in that, you know, flagship Blick store. And they are so cool. I mean, this, I don't mind that it's dual tone because it's not like the gold, like here, the gold overtakes the color. I don't think it does that here. I could see both the blue and the green undertone. Like underneath is an aqua. On the top, it's more of like a green. So I really like these pens. No wonder why people are using them and talking about them all the time. And here's my other, which is a purple. And these flow beautifully. Even though they have the mica powder in them, I'm not finding the same problem I have with the Stardust, that they begin to not to flow as well. And this has a purple and this has a purple and aqua. Now, I don't know if all the pens have this aqua undertone or if it's just the two colors that I've picked. But they are both beautiful, and I do use them to color with. They're too dark to really make a difference on the black lines. And the last two gel pens are the two that I use the most often, especially this gold. I am now on my second gold. I used up the first one. And these are the Uniball Signo pens. In this case, I bought the broad. I don't know if the jelly rolls come in a broad nib. I would like to look that up when I have the time, because I do like them better, you know, especially if I'm coloring. But as you could see, the gold is lovely. It has a great sheen. It is opaque. It really is a lovely gold. And the last gel pen is the Uniball Signo Silver. Another beautiful color. It flows lovely. It is a little drier than my gold, but I do use the gold a lot more often, so that could be the reason why it's not flowing as well. But as you can see there, it has a beautiful sheen to it. I really like them because they are so opaque. They cover lines beautifully. So those are the two Signos. So guys, that is it. I don't have a large gel pen collection, but it's pretty large for me, and I enjoy all of them. But the Moonlights are my favorites because they are the most useful to me. They're very, very opaque. A lot of them are light, so they can cover a black line. But I really enjoy these the most. I find them the most useful. Jelly Roll Glaze are the pens that I use fairly often, very often if we're talking about the black. But the rest of them, I do use quite a bit. The others I'm using less often. I don't always want to sparkle when I'm coloring, so, you know, that makes a difference. I am going to look into the classics to see what I've been missing. So we'll see. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate the time. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider pressing that subscribe button. It would really help my channel if you do any one of those two things. So thanks again. Take care, guys. Bye.